Do
it. Yeah. Greetings, I am Rob Chapman.
And I am Danish Pete.
Welcome to Ask Chappers featuring Danish Pete. Here is a giant disclaimer / warning. We swear when we talk to each other. And I've made the decision for the first time in Ask Chappers that we're not going to cut out some of the swearing if it slips.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
You are welcome. So this will be the sweary edition featuring Peter Honore.
I've never been in a video where I've been able to swear before.
Right.
Because we're always so conscious of it, as you know.
Yeah.
It's always like, don't swear. So, and actually you turn it on off, don't you?
I mostly turn it on and let people bleep it, but now there's no bleeping. So you've been warned, fair and square. You are now out of the cage, Peter Honore, free.
Unmonetized, the first video ever.
Yes.
YouTube would
pull
it down.
I don't care. They can take the cash. I don't need it.
Yeah,
I've got great company. Behind the camera, we've got Sylvia Ville reading out the questions.
Hello.
And these are questions from all of the wonderful people online, and they could be about anything at all. Previously, we've had Yetis, aliens, politics, sometimes guitar playing, that kind of thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's a bit scary.
Don't you mean, oh my Thor?
Oh my Thor. Thor is my favorite.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Of all of the...
If there was any... I'm not a religious man. I think probably most people... Well, maybe nobody knows, but I'm not... I'm not baptized. I'm not confirmed.
What about John Mayer?
What, as a
deity? I think he should be canonized. I think John Mayer should become a deity.
What's a deity? Is that like a godlike figure?
Like a godlike thing, yeah.
I think he probably is for a lot of people.
Saint Mayer.
Saint Mayer. Saint Mayer Malade.
Actually, if anyone's going to be a saint, it's got to be someone like B.B. King or Jimi Hendrix
or Chuck Berry. Because he likes to do that.
He does like to do that.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, we should probably start with question number 1.
Okay.
Question number 1 comes from Travis Roulet. What styles / genres are you least comfortable playing and why?
Oh, probably metal bits, because I've not really dived into that kind of genre. I do a bit, once in a while, and occasionally you will go, oh, here's a 7-string guitar, an 8-string guitar, just play something, and I'm going, oh shit, then I'll just try to chug along and try to figure something out. But that kind of the genre that you guys do, and that I'm not very comfortable with that.
But the thing is, when you got a blues background, pentatonics,
yes.
I mean, you can make that into pretty much anything, can't you?
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can. Yeah, I think I like just to try to play everything. As you said earlier, it's like I play all the time.
He is the guy that plays the guitar more than anyone I know. I have never known Pete to have 5 minutes alone with a guitar and not be playing it.
No,
it's inhuman.
You kind of play what you know. You know what I mean? And then I've done sessions before where for some commercial or whatever, they said, can you play this? And I'll make it work. But all that shredding stuff, I'll have to kind of get into it. But I'm not super duper comfortable. I used to play nylon string guitar proper, and I said, I can't do that. And they went, yes, you can. I was like, okay. And I just kind of got on with it somehow.
There's an interesting Peter Honore philosophy, which I get given a lot, which is I go, oh no, the action's really high, and he goes, just play the guitar. Or I go, oh Pete, these strings are really rusty. The best resolve for that, Rob, is just play the guitar. So and then I said, have you got any of my picks? Because and he goes, here's a pick, just play any pick you get given.
Yeah, but I think that's come from doing all of these videos where you just get given a guitar and you know that you haven't got... I mean, Greg Koch, for instance, when he does the Wildwood stuff, he'll do like 35, 40 guitar videos in a day. Yeah. And that's like not human to do that, but he is a Sasquatch of tone.
He is absolutely not a human being.
But I've just literally got a glass of picks, and I just taught myself to go and then just take any pick and just get on with it. Because sometimes that might happen. You might be in the situation where you're somewhere and you go, oh shit, man, I left my picks, and somebody goes, I've got one for my kid's ukulele kit.
And I have totally taken that on board, and now I try not to moan about action, dirty strings, out of tune, wrong pick, no reverb. I'm a changed man.
Because the video will be over in 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and then you'll be on to the next one.
That's right. Yeah,
and you might get one. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. You can't always be in your comfort zone, can you? That's the thing.
I think I like being sometimes out of my comfort zone, and I think that's good for people.
Oh.
I think that's deep. But you know what I mean? Do something every day that scares you.
Oh.
I always thought that was, do something that scares you a little bit every day.
You're right. For me, I suppose that would be jazz inversions. Anything that is like educated blues.
Yeah.
I don't, because I cannot understand the theory and put it in a box. It doesn't fit into a diatonic pattern.
Yeah.
It's not modal, so I can't apply my learned habits over it. So I find that difficult to adapt to.
Yeah.
But I will get there. I will get there.
That's throwing everything away that you know theoretically and literally play pentatonic.
Yeah.
I mean, I do say that all the time. I did a video recently that said, let's talk about pentatonic stuff, and it was... that's what it was. It was just like 2 pentatonic scales, main and minor. Well, yeah, so that's... But most uncomfortable with shredding. And metal stuff.
All right.
Probably.
Well, that's why we have beer.
And you, and we got... Yeah.
Lee.
Yeah, he shreds like a demon.
Question number dos.
Question number 2 comes from Chris Paul. Where did you get your inspiration from for your playing style?
That's a good question. I think I have never been the guy that has gone, I like Stevie Ray, or I like Robin Ford, or I like B.B. King, and I'm going to go and play exactly like that person. I've always gone, he's a good player, you're a good player, Revere's a good player, and then I'll take little bits and pieces from each one that I think is interesting. So, and then I'll make it me, because I think you can never be better than Eric Clapton or John Mayer or Stevie Ray or Satriani or Paul Gilbert, but you can be the best you can be. You can only be the best you can be.
Yeah, 100%. So you're like a playing buffet of all the beautiful, tasty bits of other people.
I used to listen to like Babyface, or Tony Braxton, or stuff like that, because of the chords. Because the chords, I really like the way the chords move around, and I found that if the chords move around in a lovely way, if I play a little bit of pentatonic major over it, it'll make me sound nice.
Yeah,
which is finding the tones nice, and I don't know really where I get my inspiration. Just good music. It's not like I hate. Unless it's shouty music, when people are going, oh, it makes me like stressed a little bit.
Really?
It stressed me out a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Fucking like people shouting down the microphone, and it's like, hang on, that stresses me out a bit, and it doesn't give me any inspiration.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't. It doesn't inspire me as a musician to become a better guitar player.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's no offense to anybody out there that thinks that that's great, and that's fine, but it's a bit too angry, and I don't understand why we have to be...
You're quite a romantic player, aren't you? You like a bit of emotion, a bit of like, you
could play one note, If you could play, it's just... Did you watch the film? Not that we're probably going to talk about... Not much about John Mayer in this, but we probably will, I can imagine. But there was the film with him and it's Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell, and it's called Get Hard. Have you seen that? Get Hard.
I have, yeah. That's
so
really
Will Ferrell has to go to prison, but his girlfriend throws him this party, and she's like, I got a surprise for you, and there's John Mayer! And he comes out, and John Mayer just goes, he's got his acoustic guitar, and have you ever seen 100 girls get wet at the same time? And he just plays one chord, their daughter's chord, and he goes, rang, 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 like that, and all the girls go, oh. Not that I'm going to go, it could be the boys that goes, oh.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to be, but... It's all about emotions for me, You're
an emotional guy.
I don't know if you could put that in the video. Just
very emotional. No, everything goes in this video, Peter Honore. This is uncensored, lid off.
But this is literally not that is how that's not how I think.
Clearly not.
Clearly not. But it is. It's a lot. I saw. I think my wife sent me. Chloe sent me this little meme with somebody with goosebumps.
Yeah.
And people that get goosebumps when they listen to music have got a certain enzyme in the brain. So not everyone has it. It's quite rare.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
So I can listen to Whitney Houston sing "I Want to Run to You," and I'll get goosebumps everywhere.
Yeah.
And sometimes I start crying. And it's Whitney Houston like, Whitney Houston singing bullshit.
And then I have to hold him for a long time until it feels uncomfortable.
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful moment.
Yeah, and classical music as well. Chord progressions, whatever.
You know who else is just like that? It's Phil Dyer. He came to mine to hang out and have a meal, and I played him some music, and he was like, oh, and his arms were just covered, his hairs were stood up.
Yeah.
Just kind of demonstrating his passion for it.
Yeah.
He gets it all the time, you know.
And
I get it on the back of my neck, not on my arms.
Yeah.
But I get that.
Yeah.
It's nice.
And if you can play a couple of notes and make that happen, then
you're Captain Lee Anderton. Question number 2.
This one comes from Philharmonic. Worst song you had to learn?
Worst song?
I wonder if he means hardest or whether he means worst.
He means worst.
Worst.
He means the worst song I had to learn. I've had to learn a lot of bad songs in my career. But not necessarily bad songs, but maybe songs that I wasn't a fan of.
Well, why don't we just briefly touch on who you've played for and with?
Yeah. Okay.
Because that might lead to the answer.
Where do I start? So, back in, if we go way back when I was in Denmark, being a guitar player in Denmark, I played with a lot of different Danish artists, and then in 2002 I think I met some English guys, Gary Wallace, a drummer, and he asked me to come over and do some gigs. And the first gig was Tom Jones at the Brit Awards, basically the first big gig. And then it was just insane because why would you get a Danish 5-year-old guitar player when there's so many great ones? Anyway, whatever. So then I think my first tour was Atomic Kitten, 2004. Girls Aloud, 2005. And then 6, I was trying to make my own album, and I had a studio in Copenhagen, which it didn't really, it went somewhere, but only in Denmark.
So I didn't know this. So you have an album out somewhere?
No, it was like 3 or 4 songs. We did. It was called Peter Max, but I don't think you can find it anywhere.
Was that a stage name?
No, so it was a friend of mine called Jeppe and a friend of mine called Mats, and we wrote a song. We wrote a couple of songs for the Danish National Radio competition kind of thing. Just we thought it was fun, and they picked us to be,
right. But you just said Jeppe. You don't mean Jeppe, do you?
Jeppe. No, he's a singer.
Okay, because I thought you meant
call
the
him
woman.
Jeppe.
Right.
Yeah, but no, but.
Because there's a lady who's an incredible vocalist called Jeppe, who Abby backwards.
Oh no, no,
she is insane.
No.
All right,
so we did a song and we did a couple of singles, and it was kind of alright. And one of the singles went to another on a TV show and with another artist, but it never really did anything. But so they asked me to do El Divo in 2006, and I turned that down. And then 2007, it was like they asked me again to do El Divo, which is like a pop rock kind of group for I can't remember now. It's so long ago.
They were huge, though.
They are, and they're still touring, and they're still big. And then Westlife, and then Tom Jones for some years, and then it was a German artist called Helena Fischer. But in between all of that stuff, there was loads of.
And did he do Pop Idol as well?
I did loads of X Factor for 4 years. I did X Factor. Or not the live shows, but all the shows where the artists I was sitting in the background playing guitar. I did that for 4 years, I think, or something. 5 years. It's 4 years. And then there was like we did Blue, like short thing Blue, and there's some stuff with we did some gigs where Roland Keating was there, and Joss Stone, and Lionel Richie, and
what so you met Lionel Richie?
Yeah, we played Easy.
What was Lionel Richie like?
He's just a cool dude, It's like they're saying these guys which have done it for so long.
Yeah,
like Tom Jones, are just super cool.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I've never heard on 3 years or whatever I worked with Tom, being on a world tour, never heard him moan once about anything at all.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know,
Not
oh,
like
I
me.
can't do this, or I can't do this, or, you know, it's just, the guy just walks out of the plane, has his own bag with him, and, you know, it's just, because it's just, they love it. And that's what you need to do. You need to, if you love it enough, you don't want to stop. You want to do it till the day you drop on stage, boom, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know.
So what's the worst,
song? I mean, the most difficult song, if you go like that, which probably could potentially be the worst, it was a song called Passera.
Oh,
and it's like
El Divo.
Yeah, it was El Divo, and it's like a nylon string guitar, and I don't think there was one bit in the song where there wasn't a different chord in it.
Oh.
And it was just me and them for the first like minute or so, and it was like all of this kind of classical stuff, and I never managed to not have a sheet for that song on stage, even though I could play it.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it was the only song that I had to have this sheet that I've written down, an A4 sheet, my own, just for my head. And I want to get rid of it, because that's my thing. I never want sheets on stage.
Sure.
Music, I want to try to get rid of it, unless it's... I did a one... Anyway, so that's probably... I'll just come to something next. That's probably not the worst song, but the worst... Yeah, it is the worst song, because it's so difficult.
Yeah.
And because you are just completely exposed with... And we always had click on it.
With a nylon guitar, there's nowhere to hide. There's no
and you got like 15,000 people there. And I remember there was one time, because we had some stuff on a track as well, which would come in, and I missed one bar, because there was a lot of stuff going on. There was one show, and I never did that again. So everything came in like one bar too early on the backing track.
Oh,
and I was like,
man.
I fucked it up, you know.
How do you catch up? It's so hard to catch up.
Then turn it off, and then you just play it with the band instead, you know.
Yeah.
But that was probably the worst song. And then I got a call a day before. Tom Jones was supposed to do Hyde Park.
Yeah.
He got ill, so Will Young was going to do it, but his guitar player was getting married. This is the London Olympic cycling, when they had their thing in London.
Yeah. And so Will Young needed you.
So they called me up and said, "What are you doing tomorrow?" Like that kind of thing. And I'm like, "I'm not doing anything. Okay, can you come to Hyde Park and play with Will Young for 45 minutes?" And I was like, shit. It's like, okay. so I just sat down and learned all those songs and played them the next evening. So that's the worst gig I've ever had to do, because I had to learn all the songs and drive in, and then driving in through all the roads were closed because of the thing. But so I learned, like, you know, all the Will Young songs, and you're just going shit. So that was the whole worst thing. Yeah. But it was, at the end, it was amazing, because you walk off stage and go, I did it.
But all the things like that are the areas in your life that challenge you, and they kind of they forge you in the fire of your will. That's what that is, isn't it?
Yeah. It creates exactly. It forms you as a musician, or
refusing to say no, challenging yourself, doing things that are a bit painful, a bit difficult, and they turn you into Peter Honore. That's what they do. They make you a fucking Danish super legend.
Those things, you know, I could have just said no, I can't do it, and that would be the easiest thing. But I thought, fuck it, I'll grab the challenge and go for it and see what happens, you know. And they know the score. If you mess that up, at least you had one day to do it, you know, to learn the songs, and then then you know what the deal is, and it's just, well, you know, oh, you messed up, oh, naughty. It's like, oh, that's okay, you know, nobody's gonna get really angry if you play a wrong chord or something. But it turned out really, really well, and that was an amazing experience. But one of the worst things. I mean, I've done so many gigs that were just weird, you know, but anyway.
Question number 4.
No, what about you, Rob? What's the worst thing you have to learn?
I was trying to very subtly avoid that question. Oh, man.
That's a lot, isn't there? I mean, you can't pick one.
No, I mean... See, what the guy wants is the worst song, as in you didn't like it.
Okay, but I like that song.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I don't really want to say that I don't like somebody's song.
No. But some of the German songs I've had to learn has been like, I don't like this. And I come out and say that, but...
I mean, so I'm going to answer it like Pete. I'm just basically going to change the question and answer it like Peter Honore. So I had to learn a load of Yngwie Malmsteen stuff for a session I was doing for him. They needed his live music, live in Leningrad DVD. They wanted a masterclass made for the DVD, and they wanted it transcribed so that they could animate the tablature with a bouncing ball, like a karaoke ball.
Oh, man.
So I went to a studio after I transcribed it by ear, and they couldn't animate this ball fast enough. So it was just like, we can't get it to go fast enough.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, just have each bar come up and then go away, because you're never going to get the ball to go.
Nice, it's way
But I burnt through VCRs, and it was all on VHS cassettes. And it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, especially Spasibo Blues was one of them.
Yeah.
It was unreal hard. And there's one part where they annotate, the notation says, play guitar with teeth. I'll never forget that. That's my answer.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Question 4.
Oh!
We just paused the camera. So the noises we're making are because we're back on.
So next question is from Andrew Bassett. Coolest person you've ever met. How was John Mayer's handshake?
Well, I gave him a hug, so and it was nice. He's a tall dude.
When you hugged him, were your eyes nipple height or shoulder height, or where did you?
No, I think he's probably like a high. He's maybe a head taller than me. I would say he's 6'3", 4".
Ooh.
Yeah, so he's a tall dude with some big hands.
Right, big hands.
Yeah. He's cool. Yeah. You know what to say about people with big.
They need
hands.
massive gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coolest guy I ever met was Joe Satriani. I became a 6-year-old little boy. I was like, oh my God, Joe Satriani, I love everything you've ever done in my entire life. And thankfully, I was hanging out with a guy called Eddie Kramer.
Yeah.
He kind of got to reintroduce me so that Joe didn't just kind of go, oh yeah, thanks, appreciate that. And Eddie came over and went, oh, Joe, you should meet Rob. He's a great guy, and I work with him and stuff. And he was like, all right, cool. So you are a legitimate dude or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I'm a guitar player. But when I shook Joe's hand and I looked at it, it looked just like mine. And it was the best thing ever. He's my hand double. He's got hair exactly here like I have.
Really?
The veins were almost in the same pattern. It was just like, oh, we share hands.
I must say, you say the coolest guy, because I've met a lot of cool dudes, but I think maybe Bryan Adams was cool. He was really cool.
Yeah.
Cool dude. Tom Jones is also immensely cool.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't really come much cooler than him. Like, proper cool.
Does he still have a fro?
A fro?
Is he tamed the fro a little bit?
Well, like, what?
The afro.
Oh, no, he doesn't have that.
No?
He stopped dyeing the hair and all that stuff. Well, he did it when I first met him. He was dyeing all the chest hair and everything. But he was like, oh, you're that boy from Copenhagen. You know, and had beers in a beer and stuff. So when I first met him, really cool.
Was that your impression of Tom Jones?
I can't do a Welsh accent. Boyo. I can't do that, but yeah, super duper cool. There's been a lot of cool cats, you know. It doesn't necessarily mean to be a big superstar. You're
that's
a cool
true.
dude, you know.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
One of the coolest people I ever met was Peter Honore. Back during Cab Clone Gate.
Oh, Cab Clone Gate.
Cab Clone Gate. Yeah.
Oh my God.
We definitely shouldn't mention Cab Clone Gate.
No, that was like authentic Gate today, isn't it? A little bit the same. Let's not go.
I wouldn't know anything about that either.
No, well, let's not talk about that.
What's
either.
question number 5?
This one comes from Harry Smith. Favorite amp, Valve or digital?
Valve or digital amp? Valve.
Shall I go first?
Yeah, tube. You go first.
My favourite Valve amp is the Victory RD1. It's a cheat answer because it is my signature amp.
Yeah.
But it is my favourite amp. I mean, people back me up whenever he texts me and goes, Rob, what amp do you want for today's shoot? And I normally go, Victory RD1.
Yeah.
It's just a great amp, and I know how to use it, and I'm really familiar with it, and you know, like Pete said, it's a great amp. Non-Valve, definitely for me at the moment, it's the Boss Katana. So easy, they work great, they sound good, they never break, they're reliable, I can get 3 or 4 brilliant sounds out of them, and if you want a no-fuss, click and play, for me it's just Boss Katana.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many great amps out there. It's really difficult to, Victory makes great amps. I love the V40 because it does everything. But it's it's on the more expensive side of things. So if an all round is, I've always said Hot Rod Deluxe because I just think it's great. I used to play them as a Boogie amps all the time. It's really difficult to have a favorite amp. It depends on. It's like having one hammer for one job. It's just not. It doesn't. You know what I mean?
Just make sure you got the biggest hammer, and then you'll always be fine.
Katana, basically.
Right.
I think unless it's the Kemper is, but it's not really a transistor amp, is it? It's not an amp. It's something else. But the Katana just does the great job for super affordable price.
So talking to boogies, what was your favorite boogie amp? Because I love boogie amps.
Lone Star, which I used that, and I used a Roadster head and 4x12 cab on the Tom tour.
How heavy was that? You had crew,
I didn't have to carry it. And it was flight cased up as well, so it was insanely heavy. And then they did one, it was called Electrodyne or something. It was like a single channel thing, which came out the same time as the Mark V. But got overshadowed by the Mark V. But that is just an amazing amp as well that people forget about. So
I'm all about the Mark V, 25, or the...
Yeah, they all do great amps, man. Yeah, they do. But they're expensive.
They are. And there's a lot on them too.
Yeah, I like simple amps that does clean headroom, really loud. So if you can get 100 watt, I think people misunderstand the whole thing that it's too loud. 100 watts is about having headroom to take pedals really well, to give like a really good clean zone. So when for instance, when we did go and see John Mayer at the O2, he's got 300 watt heads and cabs, right? So he's got a Dumble, he's got a 2-Rock signature, and he's got the JMod 100 on 212 cabs. And the clean headroom, and he uses all three on at the same time. Right. It's not like you use one for this or one for that.
No. Yeah.
So
simultaneously?
Yeah.
Oh. I thought he would have an ABY.
No. This is all on. They're all on at the same time, apparently. So what happens when you've the dynamic of it, I think it's difficult to play if you're not used to it. Yeah. That's why Boss Katana is really good, because you can kind of get away with a lot of things. It kind of hides all your transistor amps, for me, and a Kemper for that matter, hides that kind of...
That's great. Hide everything it possibly can. It's the best thing in the world.
And, for some, but once you... Because I've got this SL amps, this clean amp from SL, and it's the Dumble clone. Custom Clean is called. And that's 100 watts, KT88s. It's KT66, KT66, and it's just a different 100 watts from the Victory V140, which is a different. It's just, unless you know how to play it, it'll just bite your head off immediately. Bing! Like, you have to be so, and he plays with 3 of those.
So, but he's John Mayer, bro. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's all in the fingers, isn't it? So I think people should look into getting. If you really want to know how to feel the guitar,
get a 100 watt amp.
And they're not that much more expensive.
And practice really loud in your parents' bedroom. See,
this is the problem, isn't it? Because that's, we tried the little Katana. I've got the Katana Air. Now I've got the TXR2 from Yamaha as well. Yeah. So we're going to do a video when you come in next. Hopefully we'll do the comparison. But the most asked question we've had is, how does it compare to a Katana 50? And it's like, you can't. It's a 112, and the other one's got 2 little 3.9 inch speakers. And it's just those two things. It's not a comparison. It's not a comparison you can. But we're going to do the video anyway, just to prove a point. Anyway, tube amps. Anyway.
I have to cough. This will be the longest podcast that ever happened on Ask Chappers.
Because we just so excited about
this. Yeah.
This question comes from Pete Lowler, if I'm pronouncing it right. What's the story about the purple?
The purple guitar?
It just says, what's the story about the purple?
This one. I brought it, but I don't know if we're not playing it, but I did bring it. So, okay, if you haven't heard the story before, we've done the story.
Pete, you can hold it if you want to hold it, man.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Do I need to hold it?
I feel like Pete needs to travel with it all the time. He can't have it not around him. I think that's the thing.
Let's put it there.
Oh, there you go.
So the story with this guitar is that I was looking for a Telecaster. I think kind of I had a Telecaster with I don't know. I was just looking for it anyway. So I walk into the shop one day, and some of the guys go, "Hey Pete, man, you like Prince?" I'm like, "Yeah." There's a purple Telecaster second hand in the boutique room. I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." So I walk in there and I just pick it up and I play it. I was like, "This guitar is the fucking best guitar I've ever played, and I just need to have that guitar." And so I took a picture, put that on Instagram. I said, "This is the best Telecaster I've ever had, and I'm just gonna get it, whatever."
Oh.
Which was a mistake, by the way. But so I called Lee up, texted Chloe first, and said, "Can I get this guitar because I need this guitar in my life?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm okay. We'll sort something out, whatever." So I said to Lee, "We need to sort something out. Can I get this guitar?" He was like, "Yes, we'll sort something out. I'm just in a meeting, so I'll come down this afternoon, and we'll sort it out."
Oh, and loads of people wanted to buy it.
So what happened was, I put it on Instagram, and then somebody bought it.
Oh,
so I was like,
man.
so Lee called me up and he said, "Pete, I'm really sorry, but that guitar's been sold. I've just went down to sort it out, and it's been sold." And I was gutted because it was instantaneously.
What did you do?
So what happened was that it was a guy called Sam who buys a lot of stuff from Andertons, but he likes to, swap it up and bring stuff back and change stuff out all the time. So they're like, sometimes he brings stuff back, and so I was thinking, okay, maybe he'll bring it back at some point. So I kept going in and out of the shop. Has he brought it back? Hasn't brought it back yet? No. Turns out, like 2 weeks later, he did bring it back.
Oh,
he did bring it back. Lee saw it came back, took it, and called my wife up and said, "Hey, Chloe, that purple Telecaster is coming. So we put it to one side, and then Pete can have it for his 30th birthday." Well, my 40th birthday. And she was like, "Yeah, let's do that." So they put it aside in Lee's office for about 3 months.
what? And you didn't
3 or
know?
4 months. And I didn't know. I've been in Lee's office for meetings and stuff. He was just sitting in the case in his
Right.
office. I didn't know that. And in the meantime, I'm going and asking the guys in the shop, "Guys, this guitar come back
And they're
yet?"
lying to you.
And they're
No,
all lying
no.
to me. They're all saying, "No, it's not come back yet. No. And so I kind of stopped worrying about it. And I kind of didn't forget. Because once something like that, it's just not going to go. And I
Yeah.
tried to play other Telecasters and none of them
Oh,
were.
man.
So anyway, so it was my birthday and the girls are going, "Good morning, Daddy. Happy birthday. Blah, blah, blah. We got a present for you." And they brought in the case. And I'm like, "Why are they bringing a guitar case in?" It's like, that's weird. And I thought that maybe they just put loads of presents in it as a joke. And I'm sitting in bed there with my coffee. And then I open up the case and there's the flipping guitar.
You can swear, Pete. You can.
Yeah.
This is uncaged Peter Honore.
And there's a guitar. I'm going, "What the fuck?" And it was the guitar. And then that was it. And so that's the story. So that was my birthday
You know what it
present.
did? That whole scenario compounded the love, didn't it?
Yeah.
It made it even more precious
Yeah,
because
it was meant to be.
Yeah, it
It
was.
was meant to be. And I think when you're looking for a guitar, I always feel, because I've got guitars in the past, I need a Strat. So I've just bought a Strat because I just needed it for a tour, for something or
Yeah.
whatever. And you go, "Yeah, that's okay." And you just play it and then it's fine. But that's not how it should be. For me, guitars, just dial that back because guitars are good today. And you won't get a bad one. But sometimes shit like this happen and you pick something up and you go, "This is just made for me, this guitar."
Yeah. It's like you shouldn't get married unless you fall in love. You shouldn't buy a guitar unless you fall in love with the guitar as well,
Yeah.
Unless you do silly
Well, you
things.
can always get married and divorced. You can't have kids if you're not in love because that will attach you forever.
Yes.
So, but that's the story of that. So, and here it is, and it's a bloody great guitar, and that's the guitar, which is probably going to be another question. I would never sell this guitar. I'll sell all the other ones, maybe.
Not even for like £1 million.
Well, probably. But
So
we do make them.
So you do have a price.
Everybody's got a price, man. It's special. So that's the story of that.
Right. There you go.
There you go.
That was quite beautiful. Next question comes from Ole Jakob, and it literally says, "How often to change strings?"
Ole Jakob, that sounds like a Danish name.
How often do you take mushrooms to change strings? How often?
I honestly don't. What are these? They're a little bit dead. I don't change. If I was doing a tour, I would change every second gig. I would change the strings out. But when you've got 15 guitars on the road, that's what it is.
Well, if it's not your job to change the strings,
it doesn't matter.
You've got a crew. It's like I take out Pablo for Dorje, and he's just like winding the strings on every other show.
Yeah.
Actually, Beer does his own because he's got a thing about doing his own most of the time.
Which is fine. I like to change my strings as well, but I don't think I change them that often because I don't have very sweaty hands.
No, I don't either. I never sweat really, unless I sweat from my face into my eyes while I'm trying to sing, but my hands just kind of stay crispy dry.
Yeah. Not the crack. So there's a good trick actually if you've got a set of strings. I showed this before. If they're a little bit dead, you can hear that. If you just tune it down, this is what I do if I feel like I can't be bothered to change the strings. You just tune them down and you slap it. Slap light.
But you got to slap it really hard.
Yeah, because what happens is, it's probably not going to work now, but basically you slap it more than that. I'm sitting in a bit awkward position here. You can kind of hear that. So what happens is, because a string is a piece of metal that's like this, and then there's more metal wind around like this, and when people do this, they pull the strings. So what happens is you pull the strings, the winding apart, and all the dirt can get in, right? So it gets dirty, and then it gets muffled really quickly. That's why Lexus strings last forever, because it's literally like a condom on the strings. So I call them condom strings. I don't like the feeling of it either. It feels like wearing a condom. That's why I like this, because I can feel the strings.
So basically you're slapping the dirt out of the string.
Out of the strings. And then you get the tone back.
Yeah.
But at some point, eventually, the string inside will get a bit dull and maybe a bit rusty. And then you change them.
Yeah.
So not very often.
I change my strings. If I got to record, I change them. If I'm on tour, every 2 or 3 shows. Here, I'll change them if I go, oh, that feels horrible. But I don't really.
That's what I do.
Yeah. But with really good strings, really good strings, you don't really need to change that often.
No.
I use paradigms. What do you use, Pete?
I use normal, regular slinkies. And now I start to, on the PRS, I put the 10.5 on there, just to give it a little bit of extra.
But we're EB Clan, Ernie Ball Clan.
Yeah.
Shout out to Papa Sterling.
Yeah, man. They've always been good. It's good enough for Clapton, John Mayer, Jeff Beck. They're good enough for me.
Peter Honore.
Anyway.
Okay, question from Rod Riffle. Again, I'm just reading it as it says. Quality guitar because it give you the whole deal, or something cheap you love?
But that goes back to the question of finding something that speaks to you when you pick it up, doesn't it?
Yeah. For me, we're in a different part of our career. If I was a beginner starting out, I would always say put more money in the guitar than the amp. So I would probably go, buy a great guitar because you're gonna stick with it, and then get a more affordable amp. But now I just buy something that feels right.
Yeah, you can. You can get a bass guitar for 190 quid or 200 quid, whatever they are. And it's a great amp, and then you can buy, a Squire, or they don't cost. Guitars are so much better now these days, but it's important that when it sits there on your sofa and you're looking at the guitar,
you want to play it.
You want to pick it up and you want to play it, because if that's the most important thing. And also when you, of course, pick it up and you play a chord that is in tune and the intonation is right. But I think affordable guitars or cheap guitars have come so far. If you got 400 quid, 300 quid, you can buy a great guitar to start out with. And
the thing is, it doesn't matter which country the CNC machine is in.
It's a CNC machine.
Yeah, so it's carved by a robot. So to all intent and purpose, you can set intonation and tuning and everything. And as long as you know how to set a guitar up or find someone that does, you can still buy something fairly affordable and make it really good and play it in. And it'll feel like an expensive guitar.
And then if you realise that you want to play more guitar, then you get into it, and maybe you get another paper round and cut your neighbour's lawn, and then... save some money up and buy I mean, they are expensive guitars today.
Well, you know what they say, Pete?
cheap.
Life begins at 40 guitars. That's what they say.
Oh, God.
He who dies with the most guitars wins.
Wins, yes.
That's the answer to that question.
Yeah.
Buy them.
Doug's fan Dave asks, favorite Chinese food?
Oh.
I'm not really a Chinese food kind of guy, but maybe spicy beef, what are they called?
We should let them know something that we do every single time we go to Andertons. So we have this ritual. Every single time I go to Andertons and shoot the videos once a month, I look at Pete, he looks at me, and we go, we're going to go out. And we're like, yeah. And we always go to this one restaurant and get a little bit drunk on sake. And it's called Sushi Nara in Guildford.
It's good, man.
And they know us so well now that they always give us a little free bit of sushi. They come over and talk to us. And Pete normally has the massive soup with the beef and stuff in it.
Yuki John.
Yeah. I have the Wagyu salad and then the tofu things and then whatever else is going on. And it is great. And then we sometimes go to the cinema.
Yeah.
We've got to watch Joker.
I want to watch the Joker as well.
I want to watch the Joker. Sylvia's already seen the Joker and says it's great.
It was amazing.
But apparently you got to go with like quite a strong mental fortitude, so I'm ruined.
Yeah. It's just fucked. You haven't sworn yet, man. I just noticed.
No, this is just me normally. I'm just allowing it because you swear like a fucking bellend all day long.
I do swear a lot. Apologies to kids out there. Sorry.
What's your favorite Chinese food?
My favorite Chinese food, if I'm buying anglicized Chinese food, and I had no restrictions on diet, as in no allergies, no morals, it would be the classic satay tofu on a skewers as a starter. I love the seaweed. It's not really seaweed, but I like it. It's actually spring greens or cabbage. I like special fried rice with all the different kinds of meats in it. No gravy, just dry. And then I really, really used to enjoy getting the chicken balls and the sweet and sour sauce.
Chicken balls.
Yeah, none of that is really Chinese food.
But Peking duck is probably...
Peking duck is a great kind of duck.
Yeah. Because you can roll
pancakes and the cucumber and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's nice. With a bit of plum sauce.
But I actually went to China recently and had real Chinese food.
Yeah, it's completely different.
It was all hot pot, hogwort, and it was
Hogwort?
Hogwort. It was
completely different.
Just amazing. A lot more innards than I thought. Lots of brain and intestines, but generally, like in terms of presentation, unreal in terms of flavors. Every flavor you want.
Yeah.
And no one has their own meal. It's in the middle of the table, and everyone takes what they want.
Yeah.
And I really like that.
I can tell you a good story about a meal I had in Bangkok once. We did a tour with this Danish boy band called C21. We went to Bangkok, and the promoter invited us out on the river.
This is going to be great.
And we a couple of we were young kids, man. They were really young. So anyway, we go out in this restaurant. It was a promoter, but we order some stuff for you, So they ordered all this stuff out, and one of the dishes was a fish, like a big fish, so sitting like this on the plate.
Yeah.
And in the middle, it was cooked, but the head and the tail was not. And it was still going.
Oh, come on. Oh, man.
Yeah.
So they'd cooked the middle of the fish, but the ends were still alive.
They kept the rest of it alive still.
Oh, my God.
So that's what you get down there. You get like, do you want frog? Yeah. So they just pick one out of a box and then straight into the boiling water. Like that. And then up. There you go. So there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, next question.
Yeah.
Two Bros Hunting asks, favorite artist to work with to date?
My favourite artist to work with is probably Rabia Massad, because we write so much music together, and I've never known a musical relationship to be so easy. I mean, we literally sit down and we'll just get a song.
Yeah.
And there's never any kind of, oh no, but I think my bit's better than your bit. We both know our strengths. And maybe I'll come with a riff or a section, and then Bia goes, yeah, I got an idea for that, and then he extends it, and then maybe he comes with the riff, and then I go, shit, I've got a vocal melody, quick, get the mic up, and then we just fucking throw down some lyrics. Like we've just finished writing an album, and I'll never forget one of these tunes. I walked into a studio, And he goes, I got this cool idea with this riff and this thing. And I said, yeah, play it to me. And I went, shit, throw up a mic. And then I sang the whole first verse, first chorus, and then did harmonies. And I'm like, well, there's a song.
Yeah.
And then
he's a dude.
It's just easy to, when you find the right person, you got to get musically married. You know, it's just, he and I just work together really well to write. What about you?
I mean, it depends on what the question means.
Was it John Mayer when you met him recently?
Yeah.
Oh, we need a Pete Mayer album. That would be amazing.
Yeah, no, he's fucking amazing. So, but anyway, I I've done writing before with a team. I had, a couple of guys that friends I had in Copenhagen, which was really good. But I've kind of done most session on my own.
You're a lone wolf, aren't you, Pete?
Well, that's the whole thing with remote session now. Is not. I used to, you get all the guitars in the back of the car and like 3 different amps and 3 acoustic guitars and and all the pedals and all this stuff. And then you'll go to the studio and you set it all up and you get all that stuff. So anyway, I don't know, but the favorite, I probably have to say Tom Jones again because he was such a cool dude to work with.
Yeah.
Tom was great to work with because it was amazing and he's a legend. But I did get to play Sledgehammer with Peter Gabriel. With the smoking band. With the band that used to be Tom's band.
They were all smoking, yeah.
And they're all smoking.
Yeah.
And he was, when he sang Sledgehammer, and I was, wanna be. That was probably one of the highlights ever.
I love that track. I love that album.
Yeah.
And I'm excited that I can clang and say I'm hopefully going to that studio to record the Dorje album.
Yeah. And he just absolutely, it was a 50th birthday party for Gary and Barry. And Barry was the security guard for Peter Gabriel for a long time. And Gary was the drummer that I knew who also played for lots of other people, And he was like, can you come and sing a song? Yeah, absolutely. And we had the whole thing. We had the whole. We changed. We nailed the whole.
Yeah.
With the horns.
Wow.
And he was like, "See, look, I'm getting it."
He's getting the hairs. Thinking
about that.
That was you were thinking about horns, and then you got the hairs.
Yeah, I got the horn.
That's what happens.
Yeah. So that was cool.
Next question.
Sir Greg asks, "What songs can I practice to get both of your styles?"
So I have a number of different styles that I use in my writing. So I was saying to someone recently, I process anger or sadness, and anger turns into Dorje, and sadness turns into Clockwork Wolf and Company, or Rob Chapman. And so I have these 2 different bags to put music in that are me catharsizing either stuff I'm angry about or stuff I'm sad about, and then I play a little bit of blues, a little bit of progressive rock, and it all comes down to the fact that I loved Peter Green and Joe Satriani, and some metal stuff.
Well, that's completely I think that comes back to the question: if you listen to what you think is good, but don't listen to Rob and listen to me, and take what you like there. Because that's what we've done. That's what I've done anyway. And you listen, like you've got. I don't really put stuff in boxes. Nobody puts baby in the corner. It's just you have to be inspired. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
And I would never say to anyone, you have to learn to play like this person.
I'll tell you what though. I could tell you which 2 tunes from both of those camps best represent the spirit of that vibe.
Yeah.
And I think for Dorje, probably from if I think about Dorje and the spirit and the feeling of what's associated with it, I still think that Centered and One carries more of that feeling than anything else.
Yeah.
And from Clockwork, it's probably In the Sunshine. So those 2 vehicles, I mean, the new Dorje stuff is way heavier than the previous stuff, but also has a lot more softness and harmony, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Some Depeche Mode moments. But have you told people that you are writing some things?
Well, that's a thing that keeps going on and on all the time with me writing, and that comes out in the backing tracks. So, I do the Andertons backing tracks, we're on volume 4 now. And I think that's me trying to write stuff that eventually... So I write stuff and then I go, yeah, this is great, but it's not something that maybe will represent me necessarily as an artist.
Yeah.
But if something comes along and I go, oh yeah, I'll grab that and I'll put it over here. And that could be an EP. It will be an EP at some point. And that's the thing. It will be, but having the whole, Andertons is full on for me, like, and then I've got family like you have, so weekends is just notifications off as much as you can.
Yeah. Clean up the poo, make the pizzas.
Yeah, that's just my poo. Nobody poos anymore in my house unless it's a toilet.
Good.
So
I got a lot of pooing.
We don't have any of that stuff anymore. I do a lot, but that's just me. But you know me so well,
Yeah.
So pre-coffee, after coffee, and then
during coffee.
During coffee, yeah. On the phone with the coffee.
he also pisses with the door wide open.
That's because that door keeps opening.
Not if you close the door.
I don't care.
If you close the door, it stays
but
closed.
Why? What's the problem?
He's like a racehorse.
I do that at home. I just leave it. We got 3 toilets in my house. It's not a big house, but there's 2 bathrooms,
3 toilet Pete,
and 3 bath toilets. There are 2 bathrooms but 3 toilets. And it doesn't matter which one I go into. There will always be a knock on the door if I'm in there.
Yeah,
it's like, go to one of the other ones. But anyway, that's not the question. The question was inspiration. How can I get to play like you two guys?
Play loads of blues.
Yeah, for me, for my side is emotional blues, and I know that people say, "Oh, you play like John Mayer," but actually, maybe John Mayer plays a bit like me.
Yeah,
because I've always he's in the same camp. When you talk to him, he's taking inspiration from all the Kings, from
the three Kings.
Albert Collins and Stevie Ray and all of these people, and Clapton, and they come and all this stuff he's put together into what he's become.
Yeah.
And then Jerry Garcia, Grateful Dead, which is nothing that I was listening to. I knew it, but I didn't really listen to it. But the way that he plays is very melodic. Everything is melodies, pentatonic, ionic, just melodic things all the time.
Ionic.
What is it called? Ionian.
Ionian, yeah. But I like Ionic. That's even better.
But it's just about the melodies that you get out of these things, and I think that's I don't write the songs like he does.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he writes the pop songs in 3 chords. It's like campfire. Some of them are like campfire songs. Yeah. And then there might not even be a solo in it.
What it's like is Bruce Lee's concept of Jeet Kune Do, where you take the best from every martial art, remove all the non-practical stuff, and then create whatever is your best version. That's what people like you and John Mayer do with blues music and progressive funk, folk, reggae, trance.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with, you'll see a lot on Instagram. You'll have your pickup jazz, and there'll be a group of people that will play all of those, that kind of that kind of all the 9s, but all this stuff, the Mateus Asata things, and then you'll have the sweating people, and then you'll have some of the bluesy guys, or you'll have the Stevie Ray Vaughan club, and I was like, I'll just try to, at least I like it all, but I'll take, that's a good player, so I'll take a little bit of that. That's great. I'll take a little bit of that.
Yeah,
and I think that's really important especially now, with YouTube and Instagram and all this stuff where people put themselves out there all the time, and there's so many good players, and it's much easier.
There are lots of good players.
There's tons of good players.
But there's a lot of good Instagram players too.
Loads. There are, But then you go, do you want to jam? And then maybe I'll go, I don't jam because I'm just sitting on my own in my room doing 100 takes till I get something right. And I'm not. Please don't think I'm having a pop of that.
I geared Pete up for this because we have a pet hate of social media artists who are really doing their thing, but what they do is a 400 take, and then they get one that's
and then
represents them.
And then you get the real good players that does it, like Ariel. Eric Gales, like Ariel, when he sets and noodles on his Instagram post, that's because he's fucking great,
Yeah.
And he'll come in and he'll have a jam, and he'll go, "Oh, here we go, let's come, bring it, man." And you'll bring it, and you can tell that he's, And then I don't even have an amp in my house because I play straight into my iPad every time. And oh God, I don't even know what a tube amp is,
Yeah.
And that's no offense, because people want to be famous on Instagram.
That's true. Yeah.
And that's fine. And some people can make a living out of it, but just because you have 100,000 followers doesn't mean you can afford rent.
But what I want people to realize is that it's okay to not be incredible.
Yeah,
and what's more important is what you write.
Yeah.
You don't have to be Eric Gales, or Peter Honore on the fretboard all the time, because everyone knows it's a journey, but it's great to write things.
Yeah, and you don't necessarily have to be a songwriter to be a musician. I think it's really important that you if you can, be in a band, get a band together, play with other people.
Yeah, Pete.
Play off other people. I've done it. I've done Andertons for a long time, and I do still go out and play. Occasionally with my friends in Mojo Pin, and Nick and Gary, and we just have a little, and there's always something different, some different people. But we'll have a jam and we'll have a bit of fun. And it's not like you got an artist on the front and 20,000 people, and if you fuck up, then you get the eye. Nobody cares. You can just have a play.
Yeah.
And that's really important. Or play along to backing tracks.
I do that.
Did you see John Mayer? And I'll keep going on about John Mayer, but what he says is a lot of the things that I would like to say.
Did he say download the Peter Honore backing tracks?
No, but he was talking about some
over
other ones. He was playing along to some other ones. But he says he would rather see somebody on Instagram playing along to some backing tracks than just sitting noodling. Because then you can see where people are going.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you can see you in them.
You know what? I'm guilty of that. I need to make it easier in my room to play over a backing track and film myself on my phone. The problem is I normally play my backing tracks from my phone.
Yeah.
And then you can't film yourself because the two things at the same time.
You have to have two phones, yes.
Two phone Chapman. I have two phones.
Chapman.
I probably, yeah. I've got 4 toilets though. So I win on the toilet. I can shit one more time than you.
I've got
5, sorry.
Oh, you got 5 toilets. You got one here as well. 5 toilets. Shit.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
The goal is to
be able to
shit in 5 different places in your abode.
I'll hold one in. I'll start at one toilet, hold it in, go to the next one. Pop a little bit out, and then hold in and go to the next one.
Do you reckon you could piss in 5 toilets in the same piss?
In the same.
You need a strong pelvic floor to make that a thing that you could do.
That's going to hurt a bit, isn't it?
This podcast might be the longest thing that ever happens on the internet.
It's fine.
It's good.
It's good.
I'd love to see the swear count at the end of this.
Next question comes from Reese Posey. If you had to change your name, what would you change it to?
Change my name?
Oh my god.
What is it? Princess Banana Hammock.
If I had to change my name,
Jesus. Yes, Jesus. Took on with Jesus.
Well, I like my middle name, which is Sutherland, so I would probably use that as a surname. And for my first name, I would be called Zach.
Zach Sutherland.
Zach Sutherland. And I think I'd like to be an American from Seattle. Hey, I'm Zach Sutherland. How you doing, man?
How you doing?
How are you doing? Let's go get coffee. There's a great place down the road.
I don't know. I honestly, that's a question I can't even answer because I'm happy.
How many names do you have?
4.
Yeah, I knew it because you're Danish. So what are the other names people don't know about?
Jacques with a Jacqueus.
So Jacques.
Jacques, my middle name, and then I've got a first surname which is Højbusk.
What?
Which means tall bush. Højbusk.
So Jacques Højbusk would be your other name.
Yeah, that's the 2.
That was an easy out for you there, Pete.
Yeah. I don't know what I would be called.
I call you Jacques Hestepik Lutefisk Højbusk.
Can I add my own question relating to that question? What would your stripper name be?
My stripper name would be Bambacam Buttercup.
Buttercup, Leather Thong McGee. I don't know.
What's your stripper name, Sylvia?
Candy Sugar High.
Oh, Candy.
That's a legitimate stripper name. You could legitimately now strip.
Maybe
that's the plan.
That's the plan.
Well, there's good money in it. There's good money in it. There's good money in it.
Yes.
Next question. Have we had that?
JPH2K00, tips for beginning on looping.
Tips for beginning on looping.
I don't loop, so
No.
I cannot answer that question.
Well, I do loop a lot, and I think everybody should have a looper pedal. It's the Desert Island pedal, and the tips for it is get a metronome and learn how to clap on 1 every time. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3,
Get ready.
4, 1. Okay, but you need to do that with your foot, because when you've got a loop going, it's about keeping time between 1 and 1. And if you get 2 bars, it's more difficult. If you get 4 bars, it's more difficult. 8 bars, more difficult, right? So if you start with playing a bar of just an 8, you know, then you can get it in time. When you get it in time, don't play it too fast, because if you can't play it fast, if you can't play it slow, you can't play it fast. But that's, get your metronome up, and then do the looper pedal, click on 1, and then 1 again. So make sure you're in time. That's number 1 rule
My
for
favourite
looping.
videos to shoot are definitely when people try to loop but they can't get the 1, and then it doesn't loop evenly.
Yeah, and it clicks over a little bit. You know, there are loopers like the RC3 from Boss, which have got a built-in metronome or built-in drum machine. Or
I
like
thought
the
you were
new
going to say built-in adjustment to make you right.
See, that is not a thing yet. The time stretching thing, I think maybe, but it's just not good enough. I was doing that guitar breaks down in Brighton, and I was trying to
Shout out to Brighton.
Yeah, shout out to Brighton. Shout out to Ian, guitar breaks. I was trying to explain how to loop, so I was going, you know, this is how you keep time, and I put a metronome. I'm saying, now I'm going to show you that a loop will eventually glide out of time, even though I click on the 1 and the 1 again.
Yeah.
Eventually, it'll just go off the click.
Yeah.
So I was like, check this out. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and I was looped something in there for 2 bars or whatever. And it's like, okay, just wait now, and you'll see how the loop. No loop is ever in time.
Yeah.
And he just kept going. I was lucky enough to nail it complete, and it was like I had to stop it at the end, going, okay.
Oh, I remember that time when I nailed something completely, and it was really unusual, but it came out really perfect.
Did you nail someone?
It was
or
a
something?
perfect. You know what it was? It was a perfect loop. It was really perfect. Everyone mentioned how perfect that loop was.
It was
perfect.
Anyway, that's looping.
All right.
Next question.
John Haynes asks,
Hi, John.
how have you handled becoming famous?
Pete, how have you handled becoming famous? I've got to add something. I remember when Pete first joined the Andertons video crew, and Rabia and I went out for a meal with him, and we said, listen, man, there's going to come a point when people stop you and they go, hey, aren't you that Dutch John guy? Or
Dutch Dave.
And you won't be able to walk around the NAMM show. If you go to a musical event, it's going to be difficult for you.
Yeah.
And Pete was like, nah, man, nah. You guys have been in this for a while. You know, I think that kind of thing is over. It's never going to happen. How is it now?
Well, I think it's nice to get recognised. But I was in Harry Potter world for my kids, you know, and somebody was like, "Hey, Date's Pete," you know, and you have to go and take a picture, and it's really nice because they're going, "I really love the videos," and I think all of that is really nice, and I don't mind it because it's not like I'm Brad Pitt or something where you just can't walk anywhere, you know, and that would be, I can imagine, would be quite difficult. But I've seen firsthand people in bands, boy bands, girl bands, becoming famous like this up from, and just losing the whole. It's like, I'm famous now.
I've got 5 toilets.
Yeah, now I've got 5 toilets, that kind of thing. And I'm not that person anyway. I think I'm too Danish. I've got the Yandere law. Sort of learning. If you just Google the Yandere law, it's kind of don't think.
No one is going to know how to spell that.
JANTELAW, Yandere law, and it's basically you don't act like you are someone. You know, just you can, you know, you're cool. Just be cool. You know, it's fine to say you've been successful and that stuff, but you never brag about it.
Right.
You know, and I think that whole Danish thing is just like, yeah, but I'm doing something I love to play guitar, people seem to be happy with what we do, and it is funny to get recognized in Asda on a Saturday morning.
It's holding your tomatoes, looking for a nice packet of tomatoes.
It's me. It's a bottle of wine at 10 o'clock in the morning in my pajamas. And,
packet of bacon,
and then somebody's going, and actually, I don't mind it, but I'm not, we are famous, I guess, but not.
Well, but only to guitarists who watch YouTube.
Yeah.
Not to. Although my favourite one recently was a mum outside of Tesco's in Ilminster, which is the middle of nowhere, and she went, "Wait!" And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And she went, "My son watches all of your videos.
Yeah.
Can I get a photograph with you to show my son?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, how much does he have to watch me for his mum to see me on a YouTube video and then know it's me?
Maybe she secretly watches them too.
She checks his history.
Yeah. Well, she would be the 1% of women that watch
the 2.3% of the female audience at Andertons.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's not like, it's fun. My kids are when I'm out with the kids somewhere in IKEA or whatever, and somebody comes up and goes, "I love your stuff, can I have a picture?" They're all like, my daddy's they call me Danish Pete.
Your kids? My daddy's Danish Pete. That's pretty cool, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like
it's
that.
It's fun. I'm still me. I haven't changed.
Yeah.
It's not like I go around thinking, oh, I'm famous
I guarantee you Pete has never changed.
I've not changed. I'm the same as I always have been.
Am I the same?
Yeah. You've never changed for me.
Nah.
So, and I don't think I think if you just keep your feet on the ground.
Yeah.
Because, hey, maybe one day you won't.
You know what keeps my feet on the ground? Gravity. It's working against me.
Against me now.
Against me now.
There we go.
Half as good, is twice as bad, is three. I don't know.
Next question. I can't pronounce this name. AJ Hughes. First song you learned?
For me, it was Paranoid. Paranoid by Black Sabbath. I thought it was the best thing I had ever heard in my life. I was just amazed that you could play two fucking notes, and get this wall of aggression, and then you were in a band playing a power chord.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time my friend Alex Bullis said to me, "Oh yeah, it's called a power chord, and wherever you put your first finger, that note is the name of the chord." And I was like, I've just been given the secret, the keys to the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, "But which finger do you use?" And he went, "You just whichever finger you want, man." I was like, "Shit, this is
amazing.
fucking exciting!" And then I was just paranoiding all day long.
Mine, I think the first proper song I learned was Blackbird.
That's a really hard
which
song
is like
to
a really
start
hard
with.
song to learn. At first chords, I
Yeah,
it's like that kind of thing. You're smoking on water, whatever. But I think the first I sat down and somebody taught me was Blackbird.
Wow.
Yeah.
I am surprised.
Yeah.
But then not surprised.
Yeah. Well, your first chords were like.
Do you remember the first...
That was the first 3 chords I ever learned. Somebody showed me like a dad at a camp somewhere.
First chord I ever learnt, really, after the power chord was D major.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh
my God, listen to that.
Yeah, it's right. It sounds good. What was the first lick you learned? Can you remember?
Oh God. I think lick-wise, it was probably... It wasn't really a lick, but it was more like it. It was probably more like this. And then this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So... and then it was probably like...
Oh, yeah.
That's an awkward position.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
All right, now it's 10 rapid fire questions.
Oh, God.
Oh.
So try to answer them as quickly as you can.
No like bullshit chat, Pete. All right, we got to keep it full on, full focus.
You ready?
Are you ready?
Have you ever lied to a priest, preacher, or a holy man?
No.
No.
Have you ever borrowed something and just never returned it?
Yes.
No. What was it?
Probably like a capo or a pick or a cable or a video game.
Have you ever opened and rewrapped a present that had your name on it?
Yes.
No.
It was Christmas time. I was a kid. I found my presents. What is anyone else going to do? It was a Transformer. I think it was Jazz. The Transformer Jazz.
Hero or a villain for a day?
Hero.
Hero.
Okay, what kind of hero?
Superhero.
I would want to be Iron Man.
Oh. Thor.
Of course. There you go.
Would you rather be alive and alone or about to die with a group of friends?
Alive and alone. Fuck everyone else.
Yeah.
I just want to fuck. Just like.
That depends. Are they going to die too? Because then fine, we all die together.
Right,
or,
yeah.
You know.
I'm not afraid of death.
No.
So for me, either scenario is fine.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. Whenever you ask someone how they've been doing, do you really want them to know? Do you really want them to tell you the truth?
Yes.
Yes, but that's a very English thing, because I remember when I first moved here and everyone goes, hey, how you doing? And how's it going? And I'm going, well, you know, I've got this thing on my fucking ball sack and, you know, and then, you know, my back hurts a bit and my parents are being dickheads. It's like, what? Really? It was like, I don't really want to know how you're doing. I'm just going, hey, how's it going?
A lot of
what? I didn't in the beginning, I didn't understand that greeting, as it were, but it was, you know.
It's like when I first went to Canada, and the greeting was, hey.
Yeah. Hey.
But in England, so Americans aren't going to understand this maybe, but in England, hey is like, hey, can you pass me that spanner? Or, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's not a greeting.
Yeah.
The greeting is hello or hi. So people go, hey, and I go, what? And they go, no, hey.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And then, rather than using the word dude or mate, they use the word guy. So they were like, hey, guy. And I was so confused.
Hey, Guy.
I genuinely thought there was someone called Guy in the team I was working with, and there was nobody called Guy.
Where's Guy? Hey, Guy.
Because Guy is a name in England. I don't know. If
Yeah, it is. At least brothers called.
So that really, and in Germany they have Mahlzeit, which means dinner time.
Yeah.
As a greeting, which is like in Chinese, Chifama, have you eaten rice or whatever? You're like, have you eaten? I'd be like, no, but I want to.
But we don't have to worry about that all soon. Brexit is we're gonna have to change all of that.
Yeah.
Well, talking about food, have you ever dropped food on the floor and then picked it up and ate it?
Or
Yes.
we do it all. We drop each other's food and eat it.
Yeah,
all the time.
I'll drop it out of my mouth and then I drop it out of my mouth into Rob's mouth.
And where those videos go to?
Yeah.
Ever had to run from the police?
Yes.
No. You had to run from the police. What did you do?
Happened?
When we were kids, we probably just were stupid.
Oh, I like this. Probably.
No, well. No, I'm not talking about it. I pleaded fifth.
Sure. Would you rather know when you're going to die or how you're going to die?
So many death questions.
Yeah. Can I just add to the one before? Then it wasn't anything bad, by the way.
Nothing bad.
It was nothing bad. It was
because
just
normally
a bit of
when
fun.
the police
it was
chase
just
you,
lads that would be being fun.
Normally when the police chase you, it's nothing
Well,
bad.
a bunch of kids like 9, 10 or something, and you know, we probably put a burning bag with a poo in it in front of somebody's lawn. And
I would rather know when I die.
Yes, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, makes more sense. Have you ever been outsmarted by another person?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All
That's
the time.
How it should be. And I outsmarted loads of other people as well.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. Outsmart me, bitch.
It's really important
you.
to surround yourself with people who are better or as good as you.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're never going to progress. Like, if you want to be a great guitar player, get in a band with really good musicians that are going to push you and give you the fear.
Exactly.
Don't get in a band with a bunch of people that are just like, oh, yeah, I think, should we play a gig next year? I don't know, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You know, you want to be like, oh, God, I've got to practice all the time.
Yeah.
So, not a question, but a shameless plug from Pete.
Oh, a shameless plug.
We're rolling out the red carpet for you, Pete.
A shameless plug.
Tell us what's happening with you.
What have you got for sale?
It's one of those things. Well, we got the Dane pedal, which is going really well. We've done 1,000 of those now, so yeah. So thank you very much to everyone who's bought one, and that's me and Thorpe, of course, Adrian, are really proud of that, and we're going to continue making that. So, and and then maybe work some other bits in the future. There's the backing tracks where you can go on and listen to and buy. There's 4 volumes. I've got the pickups out with Monty's.
Nice.
My DP51 pickups. Which
DP51.
So the story goes with that is that this Telecaster had some pickups in it, and everybody's asking what pickups are in this Telecaster, and it was a twisted telly and a no-caster. So I took it to, and that Fender, they don't do that set, so you have to buy 2 sets basically and then mix them up. So I took it to Monty and said, can you do a set of those, because people are asking about it. So he said, yeah, let me have a look at them. And it turned out it was not exactly a no-caster and a twisted telly.
Right.
They're kind of based on it, and it should be a no-caster and a twisted telly, but they were a little bit different. So they wound them, and now you can then buy them from Andertons.
Nice.
So that's the set I've got in mind here.
Very cool.
Yeah, and they just sound great. And what else? Oh, there's a DP40. We did a little tweaked Victory amp, which is purple as well. Of course, it's fucking purple.
And,
I'm surprised nobody's asked, what's your favorite color?
Yeah.
Because I don't have a favorite color. Purple kind of just happened.
Yeah,
I do love purple. It's a great color. It really,
But your favorite color's not purple.
I don't have a favorite color.
No.
I don't have a favorite color.
And,
but it's becoming. Yeah.
And of course, you got backing tracks.
The backing tracks. Yeah.
Where do people find those, Pete?
They find them on Bandcamp. Just search Andertons TV jam tracks. Just go Google that, and then it'll come up on all the streaming stuff. If you're really nice, you'll buy them.
Yeah.
So we can make some more backing tracks.
Support the Honore.
Don't start Spotify. Don't get me started on Spotify.
It's Danish people don't like streaming and Spotify. That's what it is. You and Lars just totally.
I think people just need to make sure that you go and buy a coffee for £4, but you don't want to buy somebody's song that they put the heart and soul into. And what did we talk about the other day? What was the thing we talked about? That why don't people when can we start streaming films, like the new Joker movie's coming out? But I'm streaming it. It's out now. I'm going to go and stream it from my iMovies library.
That's a film, Pete. That's different.
Why is it different?
I got my...
Why is it different? Why is it different from people's songs and music? It's just people's fucking... anyway.
Well, it's because people don't make music, listen to music, so they have no appreciation of what
people that
goes
watch
into
films don't make films necessarily.
Yeah, that's true. I got my PRS statement through today. You must get those too.
Yeah.
And it was a breakdown of all the places that had paid me, and it was like 36 quid. That was my share.
Yeah.
And it was streaming on everything from the adult channel through to Disney channels, where Dorje might be used for like 3 seconds on a clip here or there. And I got 36 quid for streaming.
You can't make a living out of it's really difficult to make a living out of writing music these days. You can make a living out of touring and selling merchandise. Maybe if you're big enough, you can do it out of touring. But if you are like, Joey Landreth, Aria Posner, when they do touring, if they don't sell T-shirts and stuff, then it's the money is not like I'm going to go home to my 5 toilets afterwards. Anyway. That's I could talk about that for hours.
And you just did.
Yeah.
Pete, you have been amazing.
All right. Thanks for having me, bro.
You are welcome. We'll see you again, I'm sure.
Fun. Yeah, you'll see me next week. I think we're having. We're doing more stuff.
Yes, all the time. Make sure you stay subscribed, and look forward to seeing people like Ben Meinl, Dave Hollingworth, and Captain Lee Anderton.
Yes.
I've been Chappers. Take it easy.
I wonder if Lee will swear.
Oh, totally. He totally swear.